feel than spring, having had that spring under your belt now? Just how different is it?
You said how is it different?
Yeah.
It's not different. It's the same. I feel like I treat it the same like I treat it in the spring, every day at a time, one day, practice every day, like it's a game day, like I said. In the spring game, that was the game, so I practice every day like the spring game. It's no different, but just a little bit hotter outside. That's all it is. A lot more intense.
Comfort level, though, different in terms of the playbook and the speed and all that.
At the end of the day, it's football. Coach got us moving around a lot. So just trying to learn, every position on the field so I can get the playbook down to a T. Yes, sir.
How far are you into that process, getting it down to a T? Are you pretty much there now?
Yes, sir. Really just note taking. I got really better at taking notes. Helping me do things to help me remember the plays. And that's really it. I feel like I'm really confident in our receiver group. Knowing all the plays and just getting a job done at the end of the day.
Wesco was outside talking about the 2 ways of terror. How much is that depth going to help you guys this season?
Oh, you said 2 ways of terror? No, we got 3 ways of terror. We got 3 ways of terror. I just feel like it's really going to help us, go as long. It's a long season. We can play 16 games. So having, a lot of depth, at the receiver position, is always helpful. And we just got guys that can go in after the first, second group that can do the same thing as the first and second group. So it's really good, having someone that's going to come in and make plays the same as the person in front of them.
At the time, acclimated to Clemson, on and off the field. I know you came in you transferred back in January, but these 6-7 months that you've been here so far, have you kind of just got yourself adjusted to the community? I got adjusted to the community really just by, getting outside my house, not trying to stay in my house too much, being with my teammates a lot. That's what, we up here, fall camp, we up here all day. So I see my teammates every day, all day, and really just build, the natural relationships with my team, and really just everybody in the community. I think when I first got here, I went down to the nursing home, and did some bingo, and I really loved that. So just doing stuff like that, little things, to help out in the community, it's going to go a long way.
I think it was in the spring you mentioned that TJ Moore was pretty impactful in your first few months. Just how has that relationship continued to grow?
The same as it was in the spring. We got really cool, really fast, but as I'm building a relationship with him, I'm building relationships with every other teammate, not even just the receivers, some DBs, some offensive, defensive linemen. So really just building connections with the whole team, just getting to know everybody, but just TJ specifically, it's just growing, like I said, we still, go over the plays a lot, we still, hang out a lot, go get some food and stuff like that. But we've been really doing more stuff as a group, as a whole, as an offense. So, yes, sir.
When you look at the spring that you had, you talk about the note-taking, the progress you've made. What's that next step you feel like in conversations with coaches or just what you've seen on tape?
What do you mean?
What's just the next step for you in your game?
Just continue to build on what I did in the spring, I don't like rely on the pass too much, but just continue to make plays when the ball come my way. I got to practice better too. I had a kind of rough first day. Getting acclimated to fall camp, and Coach Sweeney got on to me a little bit about that. But really just trying to grow and build on those days, and just whenever the ball comes my way, just try to make as many plays as possible to help our team out.
So you say a rough first day. I guess what happened?
Really just, a lot going through my head, with me, this being my last, fall camp. And really just at the end of the day, just nerves. That's all it is, being out of pass for a couple months, you get back into it, it's just a lot of nerves going on. But after I got that first day out the way, I was ready to roll.
How much chemistry have you developed with Cade now that you've been here, through the spring and now a week in fall camp?
I built a lot of chemistry with Cade. Like I told him, really just, building a relationship with the quarterbacks too. Cade stay after practice, and, we just work on, certain throws, that he wants to work on, anything he wants to work on, over the shoulder, just things like that. And really just, Cade stay right by me. So I see him every day, when I leave the house, coming to weights or coming to practice, coming to the facility. So really just talking to him about life every day. So really just building that relationship with him, that's going to make it more impactful on the field just by building that relationship off the field.
You mentioned battling nerves for your first fall camp. I think you mentioned kind of the same during the first spring game. I guess leading up to when the season starts to get full go, I guess how do you kind of maintain those nerves so they won't keep it rising when it's time to play?
I would say just really just, taking it one day at a time, not looking at, next week, how's practice going to be next week or the week after that. Really just focusing on today. And then when tomorrow comes, focus on tomorrow. And if I have, some plays I don't like that I didn't make, really just forget about it, leave it in the past, and continue to try to make the plays that come my way the day of, just take it one day at a time, like Coach Sweeney say, one day at a time. We're going to practice against Clemson every single day. So really just take it one play at a time.
A lot of the players, when they talk about you, they talk about, number one, how you're just a great teammate, and number two, the joy that you have. A lot of these guys are recruited straight out of high school. They come here into this facility. They didn't spend 2 years at Hutchinson. They didn't spend a year at Southeast Missouri State. It's a little easier for you to appreciate all of this, considering your journey to get here?
I would say yes, sir. Yeah, really just new scenery. Being closer to home. Just really appreciate everything that I see, and like my teammates, like I just see how happy they are, and I just go based off how happy they are. I'm like, man, I can't look sad. I'm new. I'm kind of new here, so really just just having fun. Continue to because we have a special team, so really just I feel like that helps me. And my teammates, like I said, we talk to each other every day. It be sometimes we bump heads and stuff like that. Like me and TJ, we bump heads a couple times, but the thing about that is, like I know he wants the best for me, like I want the best for him. So it's nothing negative. We always take it with a grain of salt, and we get better every day.
What makes this team special?
What makes this team special? I would just say the energy. We got a lot of depth on this team. We have a lot of energy at practice. This is the best team I've ever been a part of. Like, hands down, the way we practice, the way we do everything is business. The way we do stuff off the field, I just feel like everybody is so connected with one another, and I just feel like that what makes this team connected. Everything outside of the football part, we just play football and just so happen to be really good at it. So I just feel like, yeah, that's what makes this team special.
You think this could be special this year?
It's gonna be special. For sure, it's gonna be special. But we just take it one day at a time. Practice them scrimmage tomorrow, focus on the now, and then we're going to get the end results how we want it.
And then you said, this is your last year. I know there was some talk when you transferred that maybe you could gain an extra year somewhere. Is that kind of been decided already, or are you just saying, hey, this is it?
So I feel like I told him I was like, if I just so happen to get another year, I would rather them tell me after the season so I can give it my all this season. If that makes sense. I feel like if I get another year, I'm going to get comfortable. Just me being me, I'm going to get comfortable. Like, oh, yeah, I can come back next year. But I'd rather just play this season like this is my last season. So, yes, sir.
I know you weren't here last year, but what have you seen from the defense under Tom Allin now that he's been here?
Oh, Tom Allin, man, he's a heck of a coach. They're rallying to the ball every single play. The whistle's blown, and I'm still getting punched at the ball. So I just feel like it's relentless effort, and it's a lot of accountability on our defense. It's some coverages I've never seen, and as a receiver, we're taught to read coverages, but it's kind of hard sometimes when the defense disguises them so well. But we just have a lot of players, like the offense. We have a lot of depth on the offense, and we got a lot of depth on the defense. So, and Tom Allin, he really holds every player on the team, on the defense, accountable. But I see it more from the players. The players hold each other accountable every single day, and I just see them, in the spring I was watching them do up-downs after practice, and I used to ask a couple players, like, why they doing up-downs and stuff, and really just the things they do during practice, and that leads up to the up-downs. I'm like, oh, yeah, Coach Allin, he really got them boys, really locked in, and, it's a lot of, intensity, a lot of dudes on our defense.
I'll make it fun to end up. Who's the fastest wide receiver?
Who's the fastest wide receiver? We got a lot of fast receivers. Let me see. I just feel like any receiver that get the ball in their hands, if that makes sense. Any receiver that can catch the ball, that's going to be the fastest receiver. Yes, sir.
Why the jersey number change to 3?
That was just the only one available, and I love it. But nobody, the player makes the number, but just number 3. I really can't explain it to you, but just a new number.
Anything else for Tristan? All right, thanks, Tristan.
Love y'all.